We are here, and I just go ahead briefly describe the issue we were talking about, and let's get right into it.
Yeah, so I have been getting some complaints from clients or potential clients that I've been sending emails to that say when they open up my emails now, and this just started happening, I guess, maybe about a week or so ago. They're getting a message basically saying like, "Be careful. This message may have not come from John Foster,"
Mhm.
something like that.
Okay.
Um, at the same time, I also noticed a decline in my Dubb interactions or activity has
Okay.
dropped significantly when I'm sending out emails.
hmm
I used to get like several opens, and then a lot of 100% watch rates. And now it looks like people may open it, and if they do, they don't watch anything.
You're not getting
Yeah,
the same plays. Okay.
which leads me to believe they may be getting that message
That
as
same
well.
message. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's take a look at that. All right. So this can be a pretty complex issue. There's a number of reasons that will often occur, or not often occur, but why it can occur. One is if you have more than one domain, like if you have more than one email provider or email that you use to communicate with people, then and you're using that same email to communicate with that same person, or sorry, each different email to communicate, that will have potential to trigger that suspicious email message. Because what will happen sometimes is, say, if you and I are communicating through my Darius@Dubb email, and there's some person like a spoofer or someone who's fraudulent activities, they'll have Darius@Dubb.video.email or whatever, some very email close to mine, and they open a conversation with you because they're trying to fish information from you, and they're using an email close to mine. So this is more really common in things like financial industries and where sensitive information and financial data is being transferred back and forth. That's where people are spoofing their emails and trying to, hey, look, I'm you. And the email looks so familiar that people don't recognize it. And that's why Gmail says, hey, this email looks like somebody that you're talking to, but it's not their email. And it's just giving you them that message. So that's usually the most common reason why that happens. So say if you have, or let me ask you this, do you have an email or more than one email you use to communicate with clients? Or is there primarily one thing you're using?
It's I have a couple of emails that I use, but primarily one that I use to communicate with clients. So, and I am in the insurance industry, so
Okay.
yeah.
And so is this through your, are you using like a copy and paste function? Are you sending the emails directly through Dubb as like a broadcast? What methodology are you using to send these out?
A little of both. I use copy and paste, but then I also use I send a lot of times. There's a video that I created because I'm recruiting, and it explains the company and the opportunity and things of that nature. And so I recorded that in Dubb, and then I'm sending out that or an email to my contacts within Dubb. I'm uploading or putting the contact information in Dubb. Excuse me, and then sending out that specific video
To that contact list.
Exactly, right.
Okay, so that might be a situation there. Are these people in the same insurance company as you? Are they under the same kind of umbrella, or what is that network relation you have there?
So these are people who have requested more information from like ZipRecruiter or another website like that.
Okay. So they're not related to your network currently. They're
not currently, no.
You could recruit. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, no, okay. So let me think here. That first reason that I mentioned is, the duplicate emails. That's the most common thing. But seeing as so you're saying there's no contact previously with these people. This is the first time you're reaching out to them and sending a video through the campaign tool.
For the most part, yep.
And then those people are the ones reporting back this suspicious email message.
Yeah.
Okay, and is it happening in any other instances, like your one-to-one sends, or do you kind of have a clear picture of where they're coming from? Is it from the campaign tool or the one-to-ones?
It seems to be from the campaign tools. I'm not 100% sure, but it does. I haven't had any complaints on the one-to-ones. Yeah.
And so when you're sending out the campaign tool, what email do you have configured to Dubb? Is it the same email you're using to send your one-to-one videos?
Yes.
So is it like a Gmail or what do you have?
It's a Gmail, yeah.
Okay, and is it your own custom domain? Like, is it an @
No.
or is it an @ Gmail?
It's an @ Gmail.
Okay. So that may also be an issue too, is the @Gmail thing. I know that they've recently had some privacy things. I have had an uptick of people saying if they're using a @Gmail, that it's triggering more spam filters more recently. So I'm not sure exactly what that means in long term, but I would highly recommend using a more custom domain. That's really going to help with everything in terms of deliverability, lower likelihood of going to spam, higher likelihood of ending up in an inbox versus like a promotions folder. So all that means, it's like a Gmail, a G Suite domain you can buy. It's like a couple bucks a month. And then that way, at the end of it, instead of @Gmail, it'll have your own custom domain there. Okay. And that really helps a lot. Also, like first impressions, if they see a @Gmail, they're like, oh, okay, that's just a free email. Where if it's a branded email, it just creates little impressions like that. Just like the rest of the video pages, like all your logos, all those little nuances that help create that first impression. I'd say that they're all kind of tied in together.
So if I do have a custom domain already, can I just go into
I would say let's connect it to that instead and send through that custom domain, because you're going to have much better deliverability rates and things like that through a custom domain versus using a free Gmail.
Okay. So then because the Gmail address that I've been using primarily for my business, should I now stop using that and everything will go to the new custom domain, or as far as using that for email deliverability?
Let me ask you this. Is that custom domain warmed up at all? Has it been used before?
It has been used, but not much at all. Like I bought the custom domain, I want to say a month ago, but it has not been much activity at all.
Okay. Well, what I would recommend first, before you connect that for your sender, is send it to a couple of friends. Send it to, some close ones. You could send it to me. You could send it to anyone say, hey, I'm trying to warm up my domain here. Just reply back and forth to this email a few times. So that way we can get that domain warmer than where it might be. And that way it'll show that there's real emails going back and forth on there, and it will be less likely to recognize that as a bot or spam or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and do that. First, to take your domain, send it to friends and family. Me, whoever you have that is going to be able to respond back to you. Do a couple back and forth emails on that. And then I would say you're safe to connect it to Dubb to send out your broadcast through there.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I would recommend after that, taking a look at the data and then seeing, again, include some people like me or, some closer friends or colleagues that will give you that feedback. So that way when you send out a campaign, you'll have a handful of people that can say, hey, this came through, this looked good. Like I said, feel free to include me on that list or whatever you need to.
Are you able to drop your email in the chat?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's
see.
Yeah, my email is public knowledge, everybody. Dubb.com. Let's see how to throw with us the chat. Can you see the chat? I'm trying to throw that chat on the screen here.
I see the chat box.
There we go.
Oh, okay, there it is.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, that's
like I said, add me to your Dubb list, and then include me on your campaigns. And every time I see one come through, I'll say, hey, this looks good, or hey, this needs some work.
Oh, okay. So when I'm sending out an email
yeah, exactly. After you first warming up your domain, go ahead and put me in on that. Say, hey, Darius, you told me to warm up this domain. I'll on back and I'll say, hey, we're warming it up. Send me another one. Get a couple back and forth with as many people as we can. Once that's done, then connect your email back to Dubb in place of the free Gmail one you have. And then I would say with your next campaign, include me in on that, include whoever other colleagues you can. And also the people you're actually trying to send it to. And that way, when you send the blast, you'll have some real data, that's not, friends and family. And then you'll have some friends and family or, colleagues saying, hey, this looks good, or, hey, this said suspicious, like you had previously.
Okay, and then for now, should I stop sending any?
I would not send any more campaigns through that free Gmail account. I would stop on that. The one-to-one sends doesn't seem to be a problem for you, and I would continue to do that. But as far as sending campaigns, I'd probably cut the campaigns on that free Gmail for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And yeah, we should be able to get the other custom domain you have warmed up in a day or so. So less than 24, 48 hours. It doesn't have to be a long process. Just make sure we get a couple emails going back and forth on there. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Cool.
So I guess I'll try to. I'm sure getting everything signed up through G Suite.
Yeah, exactly.
Shouldn't be
An
too much of a
example
problem.
process. Shoot me here. We got a couple things there from Ruben. Better email deliverability rates. Warm up the domain. That's what we talked about as well. Warming up that domain, having the custom domain, which is big. We talked about that as well. Some things where if there's an image, there are some really strict filters that'll even reject URLs. But you'll get a notice from that. It'll say, hey, this was rejected because of a URL. It's a little bit different. Email tracking can also trigger pixels sometimes, or like we have an email open tracking pixel to where it tells you when the email's open. That has very unlikely, but it can sometimes trigger that same type of filter. But you'll get a bounce back, and it'll say, hey, this failed to deliver. So
okay.
And then
I was going to say I am using HubSpot is connected to my Gmail as well.
Exactly. They have an open tracking pixel as well.
Right. So does you think that would kind of trigger it?
No, like I said, unless you're getting that bounce back that says, hey, this failed to deliver.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're getting that failed to deliver message. But yeah, that suspicious email, that's more specific. I would say let's use a branded email for that. That should resolve that problem. Having a custom domain.
Well, I'll get that set up, and then I guess, like you said, I'll shoot you an email and a few other friends. Perfect. Can I send that to my other 2 Gmails and respond to it back and forth?
Yeah, exactly. You can do that as well. Include yourself on those. Ruben also had some pro tips in there. Setting up your MX and SPF records for your domain is important as well. It's kind of like legitimizing your custom domain. So that's probably worth a Google search about how to set up an MX record. I think it's really simple. You just go in and take a couple of clicks. It's not overly complicated, but you'll want some screenshots and then links or whatever to take you into that.
MX record and what else?
The DNS records and SPF. They're basically DNS records, both of them, the MX and SPF. It's like legitimizing your domain.
So I need to set those up. Make sure those.
Yeah, and exactly. That'll really help with deliverability as well.
Okay, cool.
All right, and then one little last note he said in there: don't spam. That's a kind of given because that's just really it's damaging to your reputation.
Absolutely, yeah.
You spam somebody, they mark you as spam, and all that work on your domain just went down the drain. So
two things with that. I'm only sending out roughly 5 to no more than 10 a day, but generally right about 5 emails a day from Dubb. And these are people who have
you mentioned their hand raises. So you're well within that guideline. You're good. But just be aware. I know it's always something we got to recommend. There's some people watching, listening. We want them to be aware of that information.
Absolutely. Yep. Okay. Cool.
You do all this good work on your domain. Let's keep it. The reputation solid.
All right.
Cool. All right, John. Well, like I said, buddy, if you need anything else, don't hesitate to reach out. We'll get you taken care of. Anything else we can do for you before we sign off here?
Nothing I can think of at the moment.
All right. Good deal, buddy.
The
next steps. Let's go ahead and fire me off some emails, and love to get this going for you.
Okay. I appreciate it, Darius.
Absolutely, John.
All right.
Bye. Have a good one. Bye-bye.